We're going to be talking about how to make more money by increasing customer value. So this was something that you brought up to me when we were having our meeting earlier today, and let's jump into it. So what do you mean by creating customer value?
Well, it can mean a multifaceted thing, but basically you're solving the customer's problem that they have, whatever it is you offer, product or service, by making it so valuable that they choose you over all your competitors.
So let's start off with some things that might be on that list. So a lot of companies, when they're first starting out, they think, oh, I'm going to be the Walmart of this industry, and I'm going to just underbid all of the big competitors. Okay, if you want to be poor and never grow your business, that's definitely a tactic you should take. I think that the better way is providing better value. Now, what do I mean by more value? Okay, what's valuable to your particular customer? Do you work on weekends? Do you work on the evenings? Do you have better hours than your competitors? These are just a few things that I think off the top of my head where you can provide more value. What is your communication like? Can somebody pick up the phone and talk to a real human being, or are they going to be put on hold or listen to a message and get somebody to call them back 48 hours later? Like, what is the level of service that you're offering these people, right? What are some other things that are on our list here?
I guess speed and ease of communication, but also the job, communicating on the job. Whether you're sitting in a dentist chair and the dentist is telling you this is what I'm doing, those are excellent things of value that I enjoy when I'm sitting in the dentist chair. Okay, now he's doing this, so now I know where I'm at in the process, because you're sitting there unaware. You're not the expert. The person giving the service, providing the service, is the expert. And if you communicate that as that service provider, and even about your products, it just gives the customer ease and shows the value that you bring to the table. I have a question. How do you know what your target client needs? Like, how do you know what value to bring to that target?
Well, a good way to do it is do a survey of clients that you've already helped, right? There will be a number of common questions that they'll probably ask you. And if you're answering the same type of questions over and over again, that's probably a good pain point that they've got, or a point of interest. The other things could be like just paying attention to the conversations that are happening for yourself or your sales team when people are calling you. Look for the commonalities. What is it that they're mostly asking about? Because you could be offering, product or service A, and they're really asking about B, C, D, and E, and you're not offering those. So if there's things that people are asking about that you aren't particularly offering right now, maybe it's time to think about expanding your product and service offering to include some of those other things, or see how you can include those things in order to satisfy those pain points of that particular customer. And then delivering it with speed and finding ways to deliver it better and better every day. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that actually can go back to content as well. So when you're sharing online, I'll give an example. So the head of Instagram had a post saying, "Ask me anything." And the question he got the most was about algorithm, of course, because everybody's like getting killed by the algorithm all the time. But the big question he had was, what are you prioritizing when it comes to getting more views? So why would I get more views on my content? And his answer was, saves used to be where it was value, like that Instagram was like, if people are saving your content, that means we'll push it out to more people. But it's now actually sends. So if somebody's sending your content, they're going to push your content out to more people. So why I'm saying that is because I watched that video from the Instagram guy because that had value to me in that moment on Instagram. Lots of times I'm like, whatever, I'm not gonna take in all the information that's out there. I don't care to know everything, but sometimes something will stop me and make me listen and tune in. And that was because he was giving value in that moment.
Yeah.
And it was because he surveyed the clients, the people on Instagram, to find out what do they want to know about what, so that really comes down to finding out what your audience needs and wants.
Yep. Yeah. Provide some empathy, empathize, put yourself in your customer's shoes, right? Don't just think from the aspect of you providing the service. What are your customers looking for? What are their needs? What's causing them grief? And if you can take a few minutes and answer those questions, it'll really serve you in finding out what your customers need and want, and perhaps revolutionize how you're doing your business right now.
Yeah, and it will help you to identify those gaps in the market where they're not getting what they need, and you could be the solution for that.
Yeah. Another thing is customer complaints. What are your customers complaining about? If you get the same complaint a number of times, that is very important that you address that and you find a way to solve that problem, because it's not just they're just a difficult customer. If you hear it more than once, it's probably a symptom of something that's a bigger problem in your systems, in your organization, in how you're delivering, or how your customer service is. So if you're hearing that complaint more than one time, address it right away. Figure out a way to fix that and remedy it and fix it going forward, because it's just going to hurt you, right? We're talking about how can you provide more value to your customers that would translate into you earning more money. And I think our conversation is going pretty well so far. So the next thing is delivering exceptional quality. Exceptional quality. Now, if you're a brand new business, deliver the best quality you possibly can with the budget you have, right? This leads me to an example that I watched a video yesterday of a company in the US that does lawn care. They don't mow grass, but they deal with aeration, they deal with fertilization, and the health of your lawn, right? The guy started his company and he had a very minimal budget that he used to buy some equipment, some just hand tools and stuff to, spreaders and an old beat up truck and some rakes and things to get him started. And then he got a loan on his house, a $50,000 mortgage on his house to pay for marketing. So this paid for, logos, his website, and a lot of direct mail pieces and, his whole marketing budget. So some pay-per-click stuff and some SEO. And that's what he did. And his goal was to get as many customers as he could in the shortest amount of time. So he was offering great discounts to his opening customers if they paid in cash. If you pay in full for the season, for the service, we'll book you, we'll get you locked in, and then we can get some revenue in so that we can continue this whole process and get more customers, get better equipment, hire more people, and so forth. So delivering exceptional quality can be the speed of the work being done, right? We talked a little bit about that earlier. But even just having a clean shirt, if you're going to do a quote in a customer's house, what is your appearance like? Are you clean shaven, your hair is done, or you have a nice clean ball cap on, or whatever you're wearing, right? Not some dirty old stuff. Did you just come from a job site where you're all dirty, disgusting, sweaty, smelly? Your boots are dirty, your truck looks like trash. Are you showing up like that? Or are you showing up and putting your best possible face forward? Because people's perception is their reality, right? Mm-hmm. So if they perceive you as a professional, they perceive you as an expert in your industry, they perceive you as someone who has his stuff together or her stuff together, goes along the way for them saying yes to you and not, saying no and going with a more established company that has, uniformed employees. They have, professional looking vehicles, a nice wrap on it. Even your business card and your quotes. If your quote feels, tactile, like we talked about Apple in another video, Apple, they make their boxes so clean and neat and tidy, and everything is in there just precisely and perfectly. People keep the boxes. There's no value in the box, but the box.
The iPad's in the garbage, but this box is still.
But the box is still there. Yeah, the phone's gone long ago, but the box is still there because it was done with such quality and finesse, right? So if you are putting this time and attention into your quotes, time and attention into, your appearance, it goes back to the saying that how you do one thing is how you do all things. So if even the smallest details are taken care of well, they can have that subconscious confidence that you're going to, take care of their job with the same level of care and attention. So providing exceptional quality and exceptional experience is very important. It also comes back to getting reviews, right? You want good reviews. You have to provide people with exceptional quality of service and care in what you're doing. What are your thoughts on any of that?
Oh, consistency across the board with you, your employees, and obviously your image is so important as well. If the people showing up are not you, and you have people employees going out to do the job, they should still represent exactly what you would say, how you would say it, and keep it consistent, because that also keeps that quality high.
Yeah, an employee with a bad attitude, or just who's having a bad day and mistreats a customer, or just doesn't do something right, it reflects poorly on your brand and on you, and that can seriously affect how many jobs you get going forward, right? So you got to be able to deal with that right away. And when we talk about providing this quality, you have to have good training systems in place for your employees, right? So if they don't know what the expectation level is for your brand, for every step of the process, and you send them out there half-cocked, then it's really your fault that happened. You can't really blame that employee because they didn't know what the expectation was. But when you, all the way from the interview process the interview process, hiring them, onboarding, you have to make it abundantly clear what you're looking for and what the expectation is working for your company. Like a lot of people, they go for jobs at businesses because they're attracted to the professionalism. They're attracted to the scale of the business. They're attracted to something that they've seen is like, okay, these guys are different than every other company like that out there, right? I want to be associated with that brand and that thing, right? I want to be the guy driving one of those vans around and servicing customers because they have a high level of esteem in their mind.
Yeah, and that actually, if you take a huge step back, it comes down to the values that your company holds, which is the culture that's in your company. So, like, what would be a couple values that people would want to have?
One of the values that we have is, showing up on time, right? I share this with some of my clients, like being on time, show up to your meetings, 15 minutes early is on time. Yeah. These types of things, very high standards. We are always trying to improve every day, like always find ways to improve ourselves, our systems, our processes, and our deliverables to our customers every day. Yeah. These are some of the values that we've got. What is the main goal of your business? Like, what are you trying to achieve? If you don't have the problem you're solving, the vision of how many people you want to help over a certain period of time, and the mission or the behaviors that you're going to implement every single day in order to accomplish that mission, then you're not ready yet. If you don't understand your own self and your own core beliefs, then you can't expect your employees to understand what they are either. And then they can't live out those values. Right.
And the quality, you can't get that quality to be high.
That's right.
So you have to be very clear.
Yeah. Case in point, I had a customer, and when they first started, we established the problem, vision, mission, and their values. And for the first while, they did fantastically. Why? Because, there was 2 partners and then 1 partner left. The 1 partner that left was the guy who met with the team every shift, and he went over the problem, vision, mission, and values. So this is who we are, this is what we do, this is what we're all about, this is our expectation, every single shift. So then after they had parted ways, that whole part of the process ended, and then the services went down, bad reviews kept coming in more and more, and it just, the company is no longer with us. Largely because of that, because that also reflects on us as a marketing and coaching business. Like, if you're not going to do the steps and do the things, you're not going to succeed. You're not going to grow your business, and people are, you're not going to have a good reputation. But that goes to say, if you're not talking about your vision and talking about your values on a regular basis, have them posted up on a wall in your business, then you're not going to have that high level or that high expectation or that bar of customer satisfaction you're trying to get. So write this stuff down, put it out there, talk about it.
Yeah.
And embody it. You can't just say it. You have to live it too.
Yeah. Choose values that actually hit you, they're non-negotiables.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to have goals of where you want to be with your values, but start with what you already value.
Yeah. And just think about experiences that you've had in other instances. Like when we go to restaurants, I either have an ecstatic experience and I see how, the people are embodying the quality and the level of service that is being trained and taught to them. And then you go to other places where it's like, wow, just the worst possible service, no timeliness, no attention, no anything. And it's just so simple. It's so simple to please people. Just put yourself in their shoes. What would they like to see? What would you like to see if you were in that position, right? And if you don't have that kind of empathy and you have low standards for yourself, then it's going to be really, really hard for you to give a higher standard for someone else if you don't have high standards and expectations for yourself, right?
Yeah, that's an internal job.
That's an internal job. What else do we have to talk about today?
Well, you already touched on it, but customer service. Like, it's just being excellent. And if you're not even sure what excellence is, then you need to go back to the drawing board again.
Yeah.
And figure out what looks excellent, what is excellent, what solves the problem in the best way possible for that client. So
yeah. And you can really just look at other companies that you want to be like. It doesn't even have to be in your industry, but if you've been to a place where like, wow, like when I deal with these people, man, it makes me feel really good. I like how they do this. I like how they do that. And you can take bits and pieces from other companies and just kind of put that all together to create your list of core values. Like it's not hard. It just requires some thought and energy on your part when you're starting your company. Or maybe you just haven't revisited that in a while and you've noticed that your standards are slipping, your staff is slipping, and your things are just not going the way that you had originally started the company. Maybe it's time to just take time and write that stuff out.
Yeah.
Figure out where you went wrong, and then just get back to the core beliefs, get back to the basics, and get started doing that again.
Yeah, and then even kind of going back to some things you said there is the ease of use for your customer. Can they book easily with you?
Yeah. And they pay easily.
Yeah, pay easily. Can they, once you onboard someone, how is the process after? Like we said, the checklist and the workflow. Are you getting gaps in there that are causing the whole quality of service to go down, right? Too long in between, from getting a quote to getting people on the job site,
Yeah, exactly. So putting all those things together, and we'll probably have another discussion on creating systems for your business. Not sure if we're going to make that video today, but we'll have one in the future. Is there anything else you got, Karen?
No, those are some pretty big topics already on how to provide value to, in turn, be paid for it.
Yeah, you want to be paid, provide more value. Don't drop your price. Okay. All right. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again on another video.